Hey, what's up, guys? Okay, something's going on with my chat. This is stupid because I had I thought I had this thing working, but I guess not. Hold on a sec. This is so annoying. I thought this program would work, but dude. Hold on, let me get this stupid thing working again. Hope everyone's having a great day. Hopefully it's not too busy. I would hope. Hold on. Didn't you just hate it when things don't go your way? It's like, bro. Where's the chat thing for? Here it is. Stream widgets. Yeah. Okay. I guess this will do for now. How's my weekend? Oh, shit, it does work. Okay, never mind. You know, I thought it wasn't going to work, but I suppose it is working. So I can see the thing. Well, that works perfectly then. How's my weekend? My weekend's pretty well. Thanks for asking. Hope your weekend is great as well, Marksman. Let me. You know what? That just goes to tell you that it just tells you that I'm not that prepared for today's live stream. I'm wasting so much time. Well, I guess kind of. I like to think I'm wasting a lot of time. But honestly, I have no idea. Gonna add some chill music here to chill out to. Hopefully it's to you guys' liking. I'm pretty chill. It's gonna be a chill streaming day today. Just chillaxing to music and stuff. But yeah. Alright, let's start. So, for those who care enough, excuse me, we started with React. Why is it 0? Oh, this is Bootstrap. Okay, I thought I resetted the whole thing. Okay, we started we're what, 1/4 of the way there. Oof, look at that. We completed all this. So we learned what a component is, basically. Basically, it's like putting one thing in a box and having that whole box being called in a different box, kind of thing. So it kind of loops in together with everything else, if that makes any sense. But basically, that's pretty much what it is. Let's go back to the previous, one more. Just to refresh my memory. Types of food. Should return a single development. Okay, I think I'm dumb because I don't remember. I completely forgot. I need to look at the this real quick because I completely forgot. Fruits, vegetables, constructor props, super props, class, whatever the name is, extends to React component, render, return the HTML block, which contains the components of fruits and vegetables, and then call the overall types of food component within the render, and then select the element that I'm gonna inject this into. Okay, I'm gonna keep this open because that really helps me figure out the structure of this. Because I think that's the one thing that I keep like messing up, is the structure of how React works. So, but yeah, just gonna skip through that one. Write a React component from scratch. Awesome. Now you've learned the basics of JSX and React components. It's time to write a component of your own. React components are the core building blocks of React applications, so it's important to become very familiar with writing them. Remember, a typical React component is an ES6 class, which extends React component. It is a render method that returns HTML from JSX or null. This is the basic form of React component. Once you understand this well, you will be prepared to start building more complex React projects. Define a class. So we know for a fact that we can define a class by using class, whatever its name is. So class my component extends to React dot component. And then I believe curly brackets, if I'm not mistaken. Yep. And I believe we use constructor props, curly brackets, with the param of props, curly brackets, and then super props. Super with the param of props, and then colon. And then after that, we're going to, after the constructor, we're going to render, I think it's render curly brackets, right? No, render parentheses, curly brackets, return oh, okay, that return statement will have whatever we need in here. I think you put a, yeah, we put a like a semicolon in here. I think I wrote that right. I don't know, I feel like I misspelled it. Did I render this wrong? This is what the basic fundamental looks like right here. And this is something I need to remember because otherwise I'm going to forget. All right, so let's see. There should be a React component called my component. Okay, it's here. My component should contain an h1 tag with the text of my first React. Okay, h1. Case and punctuation matter. Okay, in that case, I'm just gonna copy and paste this because I am not confident in my spelling. Just in case. Should render to the DOM. And then we're gonna target I forgot, what was it? Document.get. Bro, I completely forgot how you go about this. What is it? Inspect. I'm gonna have to use a console real quick. Document, get element by ID. Yep, that's what I'm looking for. I forget sometimes what the JavaScript selectors. I don't know. I think they like double quotes instead of single quotes. But yeah. Hey, look at that. I got it, boys. Let's go. Nice. My first React right here. I'm always going to forget this part here. The structure of this is what I need to practice the most on. And remember how to React DOM render. Okay, the previous challenges covered a lot about creating and composing JSX elements, functional components in ES6 style class components in React. With this foundation, it is time to look into another feature very common in React, props. In React, you can pass props or properties to child components. Say you have an app component which renders a child component called welcome, which is a stateless functional component. You can pass welcome a user property by writing welcome user mark. You can use custom HTML attributes created by you and supported by React to be passed to the component. In case the created property user is passed to the component welcome, since welcome is a stateless functional component, it has access to this value like so. Constant welcome props function h1 hello props user h1. Basically this little bit right here replaces it with whatever the username is. It is standard to call your value props, and when dealing with stateless functional components, you basically consider as an argument to a function which returns JSX. You can access the values of the arguments in the function body. With class components, you can see this little different. There is a calendar and current date components in the code editor. When rendering current date from the calendar component, pass in the property of date assigned to the current date from the JavaScript date object. Then access this prop in the current date component. Showing its value with the p tags, note that for propped values to be evaluated as JavaScript, they must be enclosed in curly brackets. For instance, dates, curly brackets, dates, close brackets, or whatever. I have no idea. I need like a visual. I'm a visual person, so this freaking paragraph of text doesn't help at all. I need coffee, dude. Hold on. I need to like mentally prepare myself for this stuff. Let's see. Okay. The calendar component, which is this right here, should return a single div elements. The second child of the calendar component should be the current date component. The div element is right here. So this is a single div. The child, which is what is the date, is a current date right here. Okay. The current date component should have a prop called date. If I remember correctly, so it works like props.date. The date prop of the current date should contain a string of text. Okay, what's the property that I'm passing? The date prop should be generated by calling date. Properties. So do I just like date? Do I just, is this it? I don't know. Doesn't look right. I mean, it gets the date, I suppose. I mean, do I put a constant? In the p tag. Oh, is that right? I don't know. I'm confuzzled. I wish I could say so, but I think this was the worst weekend I've ever had, but the stream is what I've been waiting for. Sorry to hear that, man. Wish it gets, hopefully it gets better this week. The current date component should have called the property of call date. Props. The current component should have a prop called date. Okay, how do I... It must be enclosed in curly brackets, for instance. That makes no sense. By context, it makes no sense, dude. Like, I have no idea. Like, okay, I get this. I get it. I get what it's doing, but what exactly is passing in the current date? Unless it's like, this is gonna be so dumb, but this is probably what it's referring to. Am I wrong? Because this right here is like rendering here, right? So the properties, which would be these, would be properties dot date, which would make sense. Date prop should be generated by calling date, unless it doesn't need. Oh shit, okay, I see. So this is how it is. How it's supposed to be set up. Well, that's weird. Hey, what's up, Bunty Hunter? How's it going, my guy? I can't see the chat, dude. I need to move my mic a little bit. Hopefully you guys can still hear me. Hope it was... What's up, Jaden? Not much, dude. How are you doing? I'm just like coding as always. Like today's the coding day, so today we're learning how to inject data into a different module. So if that makes any sense. Now that I know the basic components of how to do this, I think I have the gist of it. But to do component should return a single outer div. Okay, it contains this div. Check. The third child of the to-do list should be an instance of list. 1, 2, and 3. So this right here is a list. So this is check. The fifth child of the to-do component should be an instance of the list component. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And this is also a list. So check that. Both instances of list component should have a property called task, and tasks should be a type of array. So these two should be an array. Both of these should have a property called task and tasks. Walk, dog, workout. All right. Should render the value from the task prop. Task for the today should have 2 or more items. Second list component representing task for tomorrow should have 3 or more items. Code. I don't think it matters what I have as long as it's 3 items. So it's code, drink water, and then sleep. The list component should render the value from the task prop in the p tag. So it'd be props dot tasks. That's pretty much it, right? But the thing is, it's like, it's wonky. I'm alright, thanks for asking. I really don't know what that is, but alright, I'm intrigued. Glad you're intrigued, my guy, because this is like, could change your life, dude. Thus coding, knowing how to code, it is life changing. Maybe I'm over exaggerating, but I don't know. I don't know why this is like joined together. Let's see, there's a to-do list, assign array, then acts as a task array in the list component showing the value of within P. Use the join to display the props task array in the P tag as a comma separated list. Okay, how do I use join? I haven't really used join before. So what, join? Okay, cool. Nice. Hey, let's go. I got this, my boy. I'm excited. This is pretty cool. Look at this. This is awesome, dude. This is what Facebook uses, dude. I'm a Facebook person now. I can steal people's data now. I'm just kidding. Hey, what's up, Dean? How's it going, my guy? The only thing that's gotten me through the depression and lack of sleep is caffeine and memories of my grandma. She agreed. Yeah, for me it would have to be coffee, Marksman, because that's what I have right here. It's my cup of joe. And just relaxing and forgetting about everything, just working on stuff. But look at that. We got it. We got it. Okay, if doing this gets me a new job, I'm gonna donate to this website because it's crazy good. Tea? Nah, it's coffee. Bunty. I should start drinking tea though, because like I'm starting to become a coffee addict. I drink like a cup of coffee, or basically 2 cups of coffee, like every day, basically. I have a problem where like I can't go to sleep. I don't think it's insomnia or insomnia. I'm pretty sure it's not insomnia because I can sleep, but it's like I can't get any sleep until like way later. So, and that's probably my own fault for like being on my phone and shit like that. I'm just cooking up some shiitake chicken, and then I saw your notification and decided to jump in. Oh, nice. Sounds pretty good. I should like eventually like do some cooking videos or something, like of like anime characters, or like, you know, like drawing them or something like that. I don't know. I don't know, dude. The shopping cart component should render. The shopping cart component should have a default prop of item 0. So I should do, was it render? I forgot. What was it called again? Render, React DOM render. I am not going to remember that, dude. What do I render it to? Wait, so the shopping cart component should have a default property of 0. Okay, React also has an option to set default props. You can assign default props to a component as a property on the component itself. And React assigns the default prop if necessary. This allows to specify what a prop value should be if no value is explicitly provided. For example, if you declare my component dot default props equals location San Francisco, you have defined a location prop. Set the string. Okay, so basically, in that case, I just call the property Is that what it's asking me to do? Unless you specify otherwise, React assigns the default props if props are undefined, but if you pass null as the value of the prop, it will remain null. The code editor shows shopping component define the default props on this component, specify prop in the value of 0. Cool, yeah. So basically, I'm reassigning the default properties of this to item 0. So if I assign the shopping default properties, which is nothing, there is no default props. So by default, originally, if it had a property, it'd just be this right here. Okay, cool. Sounds good. I don't have that problem for some reason. Dang, dude. If you're able to sleep, I envy my guy, because, like, ugh, I can't. For life of me, it's so hard for me to get some good rest. Oh well, that's just how it is, I suppose. The ability to set default props is a useful feature in React. This way to override default props explicitly set to prop values for a component. The shopping cart component now renders a child component items. This items component has a default prop of quantity set to integer 0. Override the default prop by assigning the value of 10 to quantity. Okay. But it looks similar to how you add HTML attributes. However, since the value of quantity is an integer, it won't go in quotes, but it should be wrapped in curly braces. For example, this syntax tells JSX to interpret the value within the braces directly as JavaScript. Okay, so quantity equals curly bracket of 10. Easy. Easy, my guy. Let's go. Easy. Dude, I'm already a pro. I'm sorry, Facebook, but I'm taking over you guys now. All right, let's see. This is a lot of text. I don't know if I want to read it all. I kind of have to, though, if I actually want to learn something. Unfortunately. All right, let's see. Use prop types to define the props you expect. So prop types is this right here, properties. React provides useful type checking features to verify that components receive props of correct type. For example, your application makes an API call to retrieve data that you expected to be an array, which is then passed as a component as a prop. You can set prop types on your component to require the data to be the type of array. This will throw a useful warning when the data is of any other value. It's considered the best practice to set prop types when you know the type of prop ahead of time. You can define prop types property for a component in the same way you define default props. Doing this will check the props of the given key are present within the given type. Here's an example that will require the type function for a prop called handle check. Click. Okay. In the example above, the prop type's function checks that the handle click is a function. Adding is required tells React that handle click is a required property for the component. You will see a warning if the prop isn't provided. Also notice that the func represents function. Among the 7 JavaScript primitive types, function and boolean, written in BOOL, are the only 2 that are unusual spelling. In addition to the primitive types, there are other types available. For example, you can check that a prop is a React element. Please refer to the documentation for all the other options. As of React version 15.50, prop types is imported independently from React. Like this, import prop types from prop types. You have to import prop types. It's not native to React, dude. That's so gay, dude. That's freaking stupid. I shouldn't probably be saying that because that's a derogatory term, but I don't know, dude. Now, as far as of right now, because I have family issues I have to deal with, especially if I have to obviously high caffeine tolerance. RIP, dude. Yeah, I think I'm starting to get a tolerance to caffeine as well. Yeah, like what Bunty Hunter says, I hope things work out, man. Define prop types for the items component to require quantity as prop and verify that it's a type of number. Okay, I have to define the prop type. Let's see. Items dot prop types equals quantity. Is that it? Prop types. Oh, it's capitalized P. So this right here is going to check that the property that gets passed within items is an actual number and not like a letter or like something like that, or a string. Items component should include a props types check to require a value of quantity. Huh. Did I misspell that? should include prop type check to require if the value. Oh, I guess I forgot to put is required because it needs to be a number, otherwise it doesn't work. Yep, I figured as much. That's so dumb. It doesn't even tell you that, oh hey, you need to add required. It's just implied, like bro. So is required tells it that it needs to be a number, otherwise it's not going to work at all. Number, it tells it the type of data that's passing in. Prop types is just the function, okay, this is what we're going to be doing. This is the name of the property, and this is the function, or the actual component name with the props type. Okay, makes sense. Makes sense, I suppose. Okay, access props using this props. The last several challenges covered the basic ways to pass props to child components. But what if the child component that you're passing a prop to is an ES6 class component? Rather than a stateless functional component, the ES6 class component uses a slightly different convention to access props. Anytime you refer to a class component within itself, use the this keyword. To access props within a class component, you preface the code that you use to access it with this. For example, if an ES6 class component has a prop called data, you write this props data in JSX. Render an instance of the welcome component in the parent component app. Here, give welcome a prop of name and assign it to a value of string. Within the child, welcome acts as the name prop within the strong tags. Okay. So render an instance of welcome component in the parent component app. So this is the parent right here. The app module is right here. I'm gonna add a property. So give welcome a property of name and assign it a value of string. Nah. Let's just go with marksman. Within the child, welcome access the name prop within the strong tags. Hey, look at that. It worked. My guy, look at that. That is beautiful. That is beautiful like that. So basically I can name a property within this welcome component. And then this will take this information, the property of name within here. And then I could just do this component, props, which has this in here, name, which is name. And that's how it gets hello marksman, which is hello, bold letters marksman. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Okay. I feel like within a few days I'm gonna forget all this because I need to practice this a lot in order for me to like actually get a handle of it. Review using props with a stateless functional components. So expect for the last challenge. You've been passing props to stateless functional components. These components act like pure functions. They accept props as an input and return the same view every time you are passed the props. You may be wondering what state is, and the next challenge will cover it more detail. Before that, here's a review of the terminology of components. A stateless functional component is any function you write which accepts props and returns JSX. So basically this right here is a stateless functional component, because it's just doesn't really do anything. It has already stuff in it, and you just call it somewhere else and it does it whatever, right? But does not use internal state, covered in the next challenge. Finally, a stateful component is a class component that does maintain its own internal state. You may see stateful components referred to simply components in React. A common pattern is to try to minimize statefulness and to create a stateless function components whenever possible. Basically, it's saying that if you know you're going to reuse that specific type of component every time, make sure to make it into one thing so you can reuse it later on. So you don't have to keep writing it over and over and over again when you're writing your code. A common pattern is try to minimize statefulness. This helps contain your state management to a specific area of your application. In turn, this improves development and maintenance of your app by making it easier to follow how changes to state affect its behavior. The code editor has a campsite component that renders a camper component as a child. Has a camper component right here. And assign it, define the camper component. So it'd be campsite props, I think. Inside is components as a child. Define the camper component and assign it a default. Is it default props? I totally forgot what it was called. What the thing is called. Is it default props? Campsite is not defined. Oh, did I misspell it? Yeah, I did. See, it's so case sensitive. It's so dumb, dude. Campsite default is undefined, so this isn't a thing. I forgot what it was called again. Default props of name. Inside the camper component, render any code that you want, but make sure that to have a p tag element that includes only the name value that is passed in as the prop. Finally, define prop types on the camper component. I'm trying to figure out what it's asking me. The campsite component should render. Is it telling me to render the I don't think it's asking me to render it, is it? This is confusing because I have no idea what it's trying to ask me to do. Component should render. Okay, so this should work. The camper component should render. Oh, okay. I think I know what it's asking me. The camper component Should only contain a p element with only the text from the name prop. I can't figure out what it's. It's all starting to make a little bit more sense now. A little bit. It may as well be Sumerian to me. LOL. Yeah, no kidding. No kidding, guys. It's like, it's kind of hard to comprehend what this is if you don't know JavaScript, which is like the basically the base language for this. So imagine the language English, the English language, or our type of language, like the American English, right? Or like how we speak United States. I don't freaking know, like just regular English, right? And then React is basically, let's say, kind of like British language or like British English, basically, where they have different names for different things. Like instead of like trash, they say rubbish. So this is what React is basically. It's basically like a subset of English, but with different wordings for different things and stuff like that. So even though it's the original, it's based on the original coding language JavaScript, it does a completely different thing. Or like Australian people, they like to like summarize a lot of things. Like instead of like friend guy, they say mate, like oi mate, kind of thing like that, instead of saying hey what's up, or hey how's it going guy, dude, or something like that. They say oi mate, kind of like they like crunched it all into one word. And if you try to, and sometimes it's kind of hard to comprehend what that is, because they pretty much crunch it all together and stuff like that. So basically this is what React is really. But in order for you to understand what React is, you have to like know what JavaScript is, basically what I'm trying to say. If that makes any sense, but I don't know. But anyway, I'm going to cheat because I have no idea what the freak is going on here. Stateless components displaying JavaScript. Okay, use component default props to set the prop. I'm not going to get this. Camper props. Is this what they expect me to do? Constant camper props. Props names define default props. Prop types. Dude, I would have never guessed that, dude. Like this here does not tell me anything. I need examples. So yeah, thanks a lot. That does not help at all. I'm gonna keep those up just in case. Yeah, take your time, Bunty. No problem. Okay. One of the most important topics in React is state. State consists of any data your application needs to know about that can change over time. You want your apps to respond to state changes and present an updated UI when necessary. React offers a nice solution for the state management of modern web applications. You create a state in the React component by declaring a state property in the component class in its constructor. This initializes the component with state when it's created. The state property must be set to a JavaScript object, declaring it like this. You have access to the state object throughout the life of your component. You can update it, render it in your UI, and pass it as a prop to child components. The state object can be as complex or as simple as you need it to be. Note that you must create a class component by extending React component in order to create a state like this. There is a component in the code editor that is trying to render a first name property name of its state. However, there is no state defined. Initialize the component with state in the constructor and assign your name to property of first name. Yo, I got it. Look at that. Welcome back. Hey Jaden, how long did it take you to get back to normal after you lost your grandparents, and do you have any advice? I did lose my both of my grandpas from both sides of my family. So from my mom's side and my dad's side. Well, I don't know what to say honestly, because like as sad as it is, like I wasn't really that close to my grandparents or my grandpas. So I don't know. Like I pretty much just accepted, that things just happen. And I guess it was kind of sad that they passed away, but that's just life, I suppose. Like, I don't know, do I seem kind of cold? But the thing is that I wasn't really that close. I was close to them when I was a little kid, but because I didn't see them that often, it's not like I knew them completely, so I can't really say. As advice goes, I'm like the worst person to ask for advice when it comes to that kind of stuff, so I can't really say much, Marksman, to be honest. I would probably be the only advice I would say based on what I've seen is that if you're feeling sad, surround yourself with people that that care about you, and let them comfort you and stuff like that. Because like that's the best thing you could do, honestly, and just reflect that you even knew them at all to begin with. So I don't know. That could be the wrong advice to give you, but I honestly have no idea what kind of advice would be best for that kind of situation. So, because like myself, I have no idea, because like I don't know. I wasn't really close to my grandpa, so I don't know. I don't know, dude. Hopefully that helps. If not, I'm not sure, man. Render state in the user interface. Once you define a component's initial state, you can display any part of the UI that is rendered. If a component is stateful, it will always have access to the data and state in its render method. You can access the data with this state. If you want to access the state value within a return of the render method, you have to enclose the value in curly braces. Okay. State is one of the most powerful features of components in React. It allows you to track important data in your app and render a UI in response to changes in the data. If your data changes, your UI will change. React uses what is called a virtual DOM to keep track of changes behind the scenes. When state data changes, it triggers render of the components using the data, including child components that receive the data as a prop. React updates the actual DOM, but only where necessary. This means you don't have to worry about changing the DOM, you simply declare what the UI should look like. Note, if you make component stateful, no other components are aware of its state. Its state is completely encapsulated or local to the component. Unless you pass state data to a child component as props, the notion of encapsulated state is very important because it allows you to write certain logic, then have that logic contained and isolated in one place in your code. In the code editor, my component is already stateful. So right here, this component right here is already stateful. Define an h1 tag in the component render method, which renders the value of name from the component state. Note that each one should only render the value from the state and nothing else. In JSX, only code you write with the curly braces will be treated as JavaScript, so to access the value from state, just inclusive reference and curly braces. So basically it's telling me to like h1 and close it into h1. Pretty sure that's what it's telling me to do, right? It did, and it mostly really hard for me because I was extremely close with my grandma before she passed. Yeah, man. I don't know, man. Like, yeah, I know what you mean. Well, I don't know. For the most part, like, I hope things like lift your or. I'm really bad with words. I'm not sure what to say, but I hope that everything gets better, and I'm sure things always get better in life, So, just don't look down and look ahead. As corny as that kind of sounds, but it's kind of true sometimes. Like sometimes you just gotta like accept how things are, and like even though it does make us sad, we just don't. If we're always sad, that's gonna make them sad too. So, the best thing I could tell you is like, look forward to everything in the future, and like keep your head up, and find your happiness, and yeah. That's pretty much, I have to say. But I'm sorry for your loss, man. Really am. I'm sure it sure must be really hard for you. Render state in the user interface another way. This is another way to access state in a component. In the render method, before the return statement, you can write JavaScript directly. For example, you can declare function to access data from state or props, perform computations on this data, and so on. Then you can assign any data to variables, which you have access to in the return statement. In the myComponent render method, define a constant named name and set it equal to a name value in its component state. Because you can write JavaScript directly in this part of the code, you don't have to enclose this reference in curly braces. Next, in the return statement, render the value in an h1 tag using the variable name. Remember, you need to use a JSX syntax, curly braces for JavaScript, and return the statement. Okay, so basically it's asking me to do this h1. And then up here to rename it. The value in the component state. So basically, store this information. I'm storing this information in here, in this box, and then I'm calling that here. So it takes this information and puts it in here. So it's like simple. Okay, that's pretty easy enough. Yeah, what Dean said, nothing but love, my guy, nothing but love. We hear. If that makes any sense. I don't know if that makes sense, but The previous challenges covered component state and how it initializes state in the constructor. There's always a way to change the component state. React provides a method for updating component state called setState. You call the setState method within your component class like so. This dot setState, passing in an object with the key value pairs. The keys are your state properties and values are the updated state data. For instance, if we're storing a username and state and wanted to update it, it would look like this. This dot set state, username Lewis. React expects you to never modify state directly. Instead, always use this set state, which set state changes occur. Also, you should note that React may batch multiple state updates in order to improve performance. What that means is that state updates through the set state method can be asynchronous. There is an alternative syntax for the set state method which provides a way around this problem. This is rarely needed, but it's good to keep in mind. Please consult our React article for further details. There's a button element in the code editor which has a on-click handle. Okay. Where's the on-click? This handle click.bind. Okay. This handler is triggered when the button receives a click event in the browser and runs the handle click method defined on my component. Okay, this is the handler right here. Within the handle click method, update the component state using this set state. Set the name property to in the state to equal the string react rocks. Oh shit, okay. So basically, nice. So basically I basically replaced this with this right here. Set state, this state right here. It replaces this with this right here. So when this is clicked, it replaces that. Cool. Now we're like halfway through. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. It's been a rough few days for my family, but next Tuesday is going to be the hardest. Dang, man. I'm sorry to hear that, Marksman. I hope things like get better after that. Let's see. In addition to setting and updating state, you can also define methods for your components class. A class method typically needs to use this keyword so it can access properties on the class, such as state and props inside the scope of the method. There are a few ways to allow your class method to access this. One common way is to explicitly bind this in the constructor so this becomes bound the class methods when the component is initialized. You may have noticed the last challenge used this dot handle click equals this dot handle click bind this for its handle click method in the constructor. Then when you call a function like this dot set settle within your class method, this refers to the class and will not be undefined. Note that this keyword is one of the most confusing aspects of JavaScript, but it plays an important role in React. Although its behavior here is totally normal, these lessons aren't the place for an in-depth review of this, so please refer to other lessons of the above if the above is confusing. The code editor has a component with a state that keeps track of its text. It also has a method which allows you to set the text you clicked. However, the method doesn't work because it's using the this keyword that is undefined. Fix it by explicitly binding this to the handle click method in the component constructor. Next, add the click the cover fix it by explicitly binding this to the handle click method in this component's constructor. Next, add the click listener to the button element to render the method. We should trigger the handle click method when the button receives a click event. Remember that the method you pass to the on click handle needs curly braces because it should be interpreted directly as JavaScript. Once you complete the above steps, you should be able to click the button and see you clicked. My component should return a div element. Oh, this is this whole thing. Okay, so div element is right here, which wraps two elements, the h1 and button. A button and an h1 element in that order. The state of my component should initialize within the key value pair. Text hello. Okay, so that's basically what it's saying. It wants me to like add handle click to this constructor, and by having this, calling this right here, handle click dot bind it, so I'm binding this to this, which replaces this, I'm assuming. And then the button itself will need to be this. I think maybe no, it's probably handle click only. Or am I wrong? How do I this set state? I think this is wrong. Yeah, I have no idea how to go about this. Is that how you do it? Yeah, but that's gone. This dot set state is not a function. Wait, what exactly? Where exactly is it reading that? Oh, okay, I see. Yeah, I have no idea. I have no idea how to go about this. Clicking the button element should run the handle click method and set the state text to you clicked. No. Should run the handle click method in set state. Unless it's like that'd be kind of silly. Yeah, it's not that either. Unless it's just this right here. No. Bro, how? What the heck? How exactly do I do that? I have no idea. I'm gonna have to look this up. Like many things, there's a few amazing bindings for example challenges. This, my method, bind this. Okay, I got that part right. Whatever my method does, which is this right here, handle click. Okay, so handle click does this. So how do I include that within the element itself? That's my question. Let's see, handle click. Okay, I got that right. So on click, this handle check. Okay, so it was without the brackets or whatever. So I guess it's like that. Did I misspell it or something? Bro, what the heck? It tells me it's like this, unless I needed space. That'd be so stupid if it asks me, if it says I need to put space in it. Bro, that is so dumb. What the heck? So you're telling me the reason it didn't work is because I needed to add a spaces between this and this. Dude, that's so stupid because in normal JavaScript, you don't need to do that. This is so case sensitive. Like, it's so case sensitive as well as space sensitive. That's so dumb. Whatever, I guess. Sometimes you might need to know the previous state when updating the state. However, state updates may be asynchronous. This means React may batch multiple set state calls into a single update. This means you can't rely on the previous value of this.state or this.props when calculating the next value, so you should not use code like this.state set state counter, this state counter plus this state props increment. Instead, you should pass a set state, a function that allows you to access state and props. Using a function with a set state guarantees you are working with the most current values of the state and props. This means that the above should be rewritten as this dot set state with the parameters of state and props. Function counter colon state top plus increment. Okay, so it just wants me to add a function, make it into a function with parameters that can be passed through. You can also use a form without props if you need only the state. Okay, that's totally fine. Note that you have to wrap the object literal in parentheses. Otherwise, JavaScript thinks it's a block of code. My component has a visibility property which is initialized to false. The render method returns one view if the value of visibility is true and a different view if it's false. Currently, there is no way of updating visibility property in the component state. The value should toggle back and forth between true and false. There is a click handler on the button which triggers a class method called toggle visibility. Pass a function to set state to define this method so that the state of visibility toggles to the opposite value when the method is called. If visibility is false, the return is set to true and vice versa. Finally, check the button to see the conditional rendering of the component based on its state. Hint, don't forget to bind this keyword to the method in the constructor. This dot handle click, so basically this dot toggle visibility. I hope that I wrote that right. Probably not. Knowing my like, I probably wrote that wrong. What was it called? Bind this. And then I have to like what? Return a div element with which contains a button true. Okay, that's true. It does return a div element with a button of true. Okay, just had to adjust that. Dev element with a button of true. Okay, that checks. The state of my component should initialize with the visibility property set to false. Okay, that's right. So first two checks. Clicking the button element should toggle the visibility property and state between true and false. An anonymous function should be passed to set state. This should not be used inside a set state. So basically it wants me to do this, I guess. It wants me to Unexpected syntax error. Wait, what did I do? In an anonymous function should be passed to set state. Okay. This should not be used inside set state. Did I do this wrong, or don't forget to bind this keyword to the method and constructor? I don't know. I'm gonna go. I don't know if I'll come back, but if I don't, hope you have a great day. All right, see you, Bunty Hunter. Hey, what's up, Jordan? How's it going? Pretty good. Just coding my struggles away, I suppose. I don't know. I can't figure this out. Dang. Like I really hate looking at the hints because it makes me feel like I'm dumb or something, but honestly, I feel like at this point I can't really grasp the concepts unless I actually look at an example. So this is what I have so far. For some reason this part here is wrong. I'm pretty sure this is right here. But this right here, I feel like it's wrong. So let me check what it's asking me to do here. This toggle, visibility. So, okay, I already have this. You can use JavaScript function to check for the state of an element. Okay, I already have this, so I got this right. That's obvious, but I don't have the other one. You bind this, okay. Set state. Oh, I'm doing an if statement. Okay. That's probably why. Toggle visibility. Oh, okay. I have to like call the function. That's so weird. Then I just use basically if statements. Does that actually work though? Clicking the windshield toggle visibility property and state between true and false. This should not be used inside a state. state dot visibility. Oh, okay. I'm calling this right here. If this is true, that is weird. The state of my component should initialize with the visibility property set to false. Oh, it's asking me to do this. It's asking me to do double if statements. Huh, that's weird. Why is it like this then? Toggle visibility. How, what's the difference that what am I doing wrong? This state, I'm passing the same parameters. If state visibility. That's what I'm doing wrong, because I'm putting toggle visibility. It should just be visibility. Because then I could just turn off and on. You're not dumb, politicians are. Yeah, pretty much. Appreciate the compliments, my guy. I figured this out, but it's kind of dumb because I didn't expect it that I needed to write like a function or an if statement. That's just like, I don't know. But I suppose this is correct. Should return development, which contains 3 buttons with text content in this order. Decrement, reset. You can design a more complex stateful component by combining the concepts covered so far. These include initializing state, writing methods that is set state, and assigning click handle listeners to trigger these methods. The counter component keeps track of the count value in state. There are 2 buttons which will call increment, decrement, which these methods so far the counter value is incremented or decremented by 1 when the appropriate button is clicked. Also created a reset button, so when the reset button is clicked, the count is 0. Make sure you don't modify the class names of the buttons. Also remember to add necessary bindings for newly created methods in the constructor. So basically I have to be creative right here, and increment means add 1, subtract 1, and reset to 0. So we have 3 buttons, and let's see. This right here, add functions that will subtract or add. And I'm assuming here it's kind of like binding. I'm gonna copy this because I'm not gonna remember. instead of toggle visibility, it's going to be this is a function. I'm gonna have to write 3 methods. Each binding itself. And then within here, I'm going to have to call the functions, which is like toggle visibility kind of thing, which in this case would be increment. So these are going to be my functions I'm going to be passing. Let's see. This set state. So be this set state. How's it state? State dot whatever. Return Hey, yo, look at that. It's working. I got this, dude. This is sick. You're welcome. Well, I have to go, but I don't know if I'll be back. Thanks for stopping by, Jordan. Appreciate it. But look at that. I got it working. It's like counting by 1. This is pretty sick. I'll just put 0. All right. This should pretty much do it. So basically this, what it's going to do, every time the increment button is clicked, it will take whatever the current state is, which is 0, and add +1. So every time you click on this, it will add +1. And then whenever the decrement button is clicked, it will take the current count and then current count, whichever it's on right now, and it'll -1. Then reset, it just returns the count of 0, which is just, you know, basically resetting the code. Big brain, dude. Big brain. Look at this. Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 4, 3, 2, 1. Damn, dude. Look at that. I got it. I got it. This is pretty pog, dude. This is very poggers. Wow. I can't believe I actually got that. That's pretty cool. This pretty much helped a lot, for sure, though. Now that I know the structure of it, if I'm seeing the structure of how this is made, then I can understand how things, like, intertwine. And it makes it easier for me to, like, you know, put things together. I don't know if this is going to be the last one for this, learning this method. Your application may have more complex interactions between state and rendered UI. For example, form control elements for input text, such as input and text area, maintain their own state in the DOM as the user types. With React, you can move this mutable state into your React component state. The user's input becomes part of the application state. So React controls the value of input field. Typically, if the React components with the input fields the user can type into, it will be a controlled input form. The code editor has a skeleton of a component called controlled input to create a controlled input element. The component state is already initialized with the input property that holds an empty string, which is talking about this right here. This state equals input empty. This value represents the text a user types into the input field. First, create a method called handleChange that has a parameter called events. When the method is called, it receives an event object that contains a string of text from the input element. You can access the string with event.target.value inside this method. Update the input property of the component state with this new string. Okay, this is completely different. Called and method called handleChange. Okay, there's a that has a parameter called event. You can access the string with event.target.value inside the method. Update the input property of the component state with this new string. In the render method, create an input element above the h4 tag. Edit value attribute, which is equal to input property. I don't think I can type. Go to the input property. of the component state. Then add an on change event listener. Set the set to the handle change. Huh. I think it's on change. All right, see you, Marksman. Have a great night. Thanks for stopping by. Dang, dude. Okay, so, if I remember correctly, on click equals whatever toggle visibility. So basically, this is calling the function name. This dot whatever the function name. Why am I adding this then? Do I need the spaces between this? No, I don't. Maybe I'm retarded and I don't freaking know, dude. I don't know, dude. Let's see. Okay, so so whatever the value I put in here, it'll be stored within input value and the on change. Whenever something changes, it will trigger this right here. And then here, I'm assuming I'm gonna have to put something like, I'm gonna bind this to this right here, so, which would be handle change. Making sure I spelt that right, because I don't know. Let's see. Okay, so this should bind it to this, and then this should be right. Makes sense now. Right here, I'm gonna have to like set the state. This dot set state. Which will be like state. It's gonna set this current state. Return. I guess, what would I return? This dot state dot input, maybe? Or is it value? Let's go with this. Let's see. It's not working, so I don't know if this is right. Typing in the input element should update the state and value of the input. And the P element should render the state as you type. It should render, but I don't know. What am I doing wrong? Value this dot state dot input. I'm storing the value, or this right here, as the value. This dot state dot input. And then on change, I put this handle change. So this will trigger this right here, which will run this code when things change. Okay, I feel like I've done everything I can. I don't know. I don't know, what am I doing wrong? Let me see. This does input event target value. I don't return anything. The input method. Event target, which is this value. Makes sense to me. Is null. Huh. This, remember to bind this to the information. Okay, this is, I already have this right here though. So I got this working, but it disappears when I click or when I like type it out. So I'm doing something wrong. Value this state dot input. This state dot input. Okay, so I got that right. This dot handle. See, it's disappearing. Why? Input value equals this state dot input. Now that your next will involve creating an input box trigger, sometimes you have to call it and change it to serve this purpose, but this just won't serve you, although you might feel that is working. So what's happening here is text updates from one browser, not the state. So to correct this, we'll have to add a value attribute. So the code looks like this. Since your input box is getting a value from the state variable input. There's no change in the state input, an empty string initially, which will be only happen when you trigger the function. It will change, which will only happen when you have an event handler change. Okay, I got that right. This state event target value. Handle change dot event. Okay, I got that portion right. Set state. I don't. Okay, so this does not need to be a function. That's probably the reason why. The render code. Input. Okay, so that was the issue, is that within this event listener, it was a function. Is it not supposed to be? I can just pass a parameter and not have this be a function. Okay, cool. All right, cool. That's totally fine. Wow, look at that. It works. It actually works. That's pretty cool. So the reason why it wasn't working is because of the this was a function, which is not supposed to be. But pretty much I have everything correct. It's just that this portion right here. Since I was going based off of this right here where it says state equals the arrow, when in reality I just needed to just use this. So but yeah, it looks like it's looking good. 60%. 40% more to go. All right. Well, should I make this the last one or call it a day? Let me think. This applies to other form elements as well, including HTML form elements. I'm gonna leave this to like next week because like my brain is like, ugh, it's like mush right now. But now we know how like to manipulate event listeners and like make things work together. So that helps a lot. But yeah, I'm gonna call this a day. It's been like 2 hours since I was working on this. I'm gonna check how far I've gotten with this. Let's see. 28 out of 48%. 48. We got all this done. We just have to get like a few more to go. A few more lessons to go and we're done with React. At the very least, we have like the majority of the React course completed, and then we can start on Redux. And then I'm probably going to go back to like Bootstrap because this is a lot. And Bootstrap is kind of like annoying as a coding language, but it's something I need to know. I already know jQuery. jQuery is like super easy. Sass, it's actually not that bad. So Bootstrap is annoying, and React is something I always wanted to learn how to use. But now that I'm actually learning how to use React, it's pretty poggers, dude. Redux, I have no idea what this is, so I've never heard of it before. But I guess they all go together, so I don't know. But yeah, that's pretty much it for today, guys. I hope you guys enjoy this stream. It's been pretty chill. Thank you, everybody who actually showed up and stuff and like stayed around. I know this is probably kind of boring to you guys, or I don't know if you just liked it because of how chill it is, but I don't know. But yeah, I'm gonna do this next week. I'm gonna pick up this up next week. Hopefully, I'll get to like 70% completed, and then the week after that, we can finally like call this complete, and I guess I can call myself a React master. Just kidding. No, I have no idea. We're gonna have to like memorize how to do React and stuff like that. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the stream. I'll see you guys next week, or actually I'll see you guys on Wednesday because I changed it because of like Thanksgiving and stuff. So Wednesday I'll see you guys for like part 2 of me writing a yandere story thing. Not story, but like, you know, just a writing prompt kind of thing. My weekly writing. I'm gonna finish that yandere story. Hopefully start writing it on stream and stuff, and finishing it off and stuff like that for the week. But yeah, if I don't see you then I guess have a great Thanksgiving, guys, and have a great week. Yeah. All right, guys, stay cozy and drink lots of water. Water, guys. Water. All right. Peace.
海が見える街寂しかった誰にもいないから 部屋に寝た沈黙は私の頭を振り返る友達なしで風が吹いている声が聞く頭を見える今あなたはいるから風に愛して飛び込んで楽しかった二人で世界に行こう